still a unipolar world is an article linked up on mark13news.com for October 19th, 2022. And as you can see in the article, it's no surprise that Putin sees the United States as a force trying to create a unipolar world, because in some notable ways it is a unipolar world, meaning a world dominated by the United States, which is Manasseh, the current king of the South, as you can see in the Daniel 11 hypothesis on biblicalresearchlabs.com. But really it's the unipolarist Kenites through the United States and the left-right paradigm symbolized by Ammon and Moab, which is really Stalinism and Trotskyism, with Edom, which means red, being controlled by the multipolarist Kenites, and the Russian Federation is the current king of the North. So behind the hostility between the United States and Russia are two warring factions of Kenites, which is what nation shall rise against nation means in Matthew 24, Mark 13, and Luke 21. So in other words, the goat fig nation will rise up against itself through unipolar versus multipolar globalism, and the two warring factions of Kenites are symbolized by the he-goat of Daniel chapter 8, and in my opinion, the great horn of the he-goat is the United Nations, which will at the woe of the fifth trumpet be replaced by the New World Order, which is made up of the four beasts of Daniel chapter 7, and that's when the he-goat of Daniel chapter 8 becomes the leopard of Daniel chapter 7, with the bear and the lion being the Ezekiel 38 Confederacy and the Christian nations up until the woe of the sixth trumpet, just after the deadly wound written of in Revelation 13, when the Christian nations become non-Christian nations also, because that's when most Christians will worship Satan instead of Christ, which is what Antichrist means. Ephraim, Judah, and Manasseh, meaning the British Commonwealth, Germany, most likely including the European Union by that time, and Manasseh, which again is the United States, being the three horns that will be plucked up by the roots at the sixth seal, the sixth trumpet, and the sixth vial, as you can see in Daniel chapter 7 verse 8. They'll be plucked up by the little horn, which is Satan's role of Antichrist, part of Daniel's exclusively supernatural fourth beast that gets destroyed at the woe of the seventh trumpet, as it's written in Daniel chapter 7 verse 11. In other words, Satan's angels, including those 10 fallen angel kings, will be blotted out of existence at that time, along with Satan's role of Antichrist, which is when Satan himself will be locked up in the bottomless pit, and the rest of the beasts, meaning those still within the lion, bear, and leopard, when the true Christ returns, will have their dominion taken away, because the one world system will cease to exist at the seventh trumpet, but their lives, meaning their souls, will be prolonged for a season and time, as you can see in Daniel chapter 7 verse 12. The time being the 1,000 years, and the season being that little season written of in Revelation chapter 20 verse 3 that takes place after the 1,000 years are finished, when Satan's released from the bottomless pit, which is why it's written in Revelation chapter 17 verse 8 that Satan will ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition, because that's when he'll be cast into the lake of fire along with whoever chooses to follow him again at that time. Everyone else goes into the eternity, which is the third world age.